Well, winter has been as competitive as it gets in Toronto, and a good break for the school kids here as they get a chance to come in and see Manitoba and the Marlies. Eric Comrie goes for the Moose.
Well, he's trying to snap a two-game losing streak here this morning against the Toronto Marlies, 19-13-4 in the regular season. And in the Toronto end, you've got the Barrie native Michael Hutchinson, and he's 2-0-1 in his last 3 games, starting to get on a roll. 9-5-5 here in the American Hockey League as the Marlies look to continue to try and catch the couple of teams that sit atop of them in the North Division standings.
Logan Shaw starting out at center. Stojkovic back in as well after a concussion as Pierre Engvall leans in on the draw. He's got 7 games at center and 6 points while doing it as the Moose win it back into their own end. And the Marlies right on top. The Engvall trying to get to it. Sandin toward the goal side of the goal. Engvall looking to strike early as Cartoni picks it up on the backhand. Still with it. Back to Engvall. Moves to the boards as Engvall looks down around for Dmytro Timashov. Cartoni from behind the wall, or behind the net rather. And it travels back out and is played the rest of the way. That one doesn't look like it's got enough. It doesn't. Sandin comes back on it, and the Marlies make changes. So do the Moose. Sandin will fire that in, and Greening, Molino, Juris in the middle as it winds its way back up into center ice. Liljegren and Marincin. Seth Griffith picks it up. The former Toronto Marlie is Greening, pushes it down into the corner. Juris trying to get after it quick. Back up. Logan Stanley ahead. Spacek sends it in as Marincin lets it go. Greening picks it up and plays it out off the official. Not sure that would have had enough to get all the way down the ice on the icing call, but Greening found a way to slow it down. Marincin and Liljegren with Brooks cross ice. He's trying to pick it up off the boards. A little chop and into the bench area of the Toronto Marlies. When you take a look at the lines here, and maybe the thing besides Nick Baptiste showing up there on the top left wing, that third line with Ferguson in the middle, what a change.
Well, I'll tell you, they come together from the ECHL and the Newfoundland Growlers, and I'll tell you, they've been terrific. Kessner 16 goals, Zach O'Brien with 20, and Ferguson with 19. So that's a line that's got some chemistry as they jump to the American Hockey League.
Sam Jardine trying to get in the way of it. J.C. Lapon couldn't bring it across the line, and now Nick Baptiste trying to push his way past Stojkovic, who's back after the concussion.
He missed 8 games with that concussion, and Manitoba in a dogfight to try and get back in the playoff race, and they need their captain to help lead the way defensively.
Hutchinson comes out to play that against his former teammates. Had a great year with the Manitoba Moose, and of course in the Manitoba organization took them all the way to the Calder Cup final when they were in St. John's. Kessner, Ferguson out now with Zach O'Brien coming right back to it, trying to find Kessner, and Sandin picks it up and pushes it across the line. It converges on him, and Pettersson is able to get back to that. Cameron Schilling up ice. McLeish drops it back with a little bit of speed back across the line. Pettersson and Loverde come to the end boards. A little dig along the boards as the crowd of school kids a little bit invested in this early with just 3 minutes nearly gone in the first period.
Well, an absolute snowstorm here today in Toronto, and I'm surprised that all these kids showed up, which is fantastic to see. Thought maybe it was going to be a bit of an empty building here this morning.
Well, and it wasn't too far away from here that, in fact, the building was, or the roads, terrible, and the weather impassable in some spots down on the Niagara Peninsula. If you're taking the day off and joining us in those areas, we welcome you. There's been some weather this winter. Drop back in. Engvall comes back to it. It'll be picked up and brought back on the free ride.
Well, Sheldon Keefe He's got his club playing some terrific hockey right now. 3-0-1 in their last 4 games. And you look at what transpired this past weekend playing the Syracuse Crunch. You get 3 of 4 points. And
Pascal Vincent
has his club fighting and scratching and clawing, and they've been so terrific on home ice in Winnipeg. Have had a difficult time here on the road and on this Canadian swing through the North Division. They're 0-3 so far.
Tipped out front, and Comrie gets a hold of it and hangs on. As you point out, Bob, this Manitoba Moose team is trying their darndest to get into a playoff position.
Well, they really are. And in the Central Division, in the Western Conference in the American Hockey League, they sit 7th, but they're battling where they've got 6 points to catch up to the Rockford IceHogs for 4th spot. So some work ahead of them, no doubt, that they got to climb over a couple of teams to try and get back in the battle. But it starts here this afternoon.
Takes a good hop for the Moose back out front, and it just could not be converted by Harkins. Long shot. Hutchinson plays it off into the corner. Lilligren investigates, trying to get a hold of that puck. Jensen Harkins. Timoshoff escapes from behind his own net. Looks for a way back up ice. Back check by Mason Appleton and across the line. He tried to feed it along to Engvall. The Marlies D on a change. Now 3-on-2. Back the other way. It's offside. What a great chance negated by some enthusiasm.
Well, the Moose pressing. They scored 1 goal in their 2 games in Laval, both losses, obviously. And it's something where they've got to try to manufacture some offense. And you get the turnover inside their own blue line, and they get a 3-on-2 break going the other way, and they dish it from the middle out to the left side as Harkin gets the puck. You've got the right side jumping a little bit too quickly, and they end up offside, and they'll continue on here in a 0-0 hockey game.
Dropped ahead. They scored 140 goals this year, the Moose. If you want the comparison level, the Marlies have scored 192. Valverde from along the near boards. Couldn't quite get that back out past Seth Griffith, and then it got sticky, and then Valverde takes a shot, and Molino takes exception. And the referee is going to take some people off the ice.
Well, Vincent Laverde gets run over and his face pressed against the glass. And the Toronto Marlies respond. As you said, coming in to help a teammate is always a great thing to see. And that's what McMaster does. And I don't know if Molino, if he's going to end up getting a penalty on this or not, or it's just going to be an initial call, and that's all we're getting is the 1 penalty, and it's going to be Marco Dano who gets a boarding call. And Molino goes in and he just throws the clamp on Dano. He doesn't throw a punch or anything, so not a bad call by the officials, I guess, as he didn't get overzealous. And it'll be the first power play here of the hockey game. And it's going to go to the Toronto Marlies, and their power play ranked 3rd here in the American Hockey League, looking to see if they can open the scoring here this morning.
Pete McDougall, Kenny Anderson, the referees, Dustin McCrank and John Bernard are the linesmen.
And Pascal Vincent not too pleased with the official that the call, he doesn't mind the initial call, but he thought it should have maybe been evened up.
Marlies power play awfully good, but even better against the Moose. 6 for 15, 40% as they get organized up. And the first thing you'll notice is Nick Baptiste finds himself on the power play. First game, first one in. Sandin gives it away, back out front. Shot stopped by Hutchinson. Had to be good, and he's going to have to be better as that one goes up and over the glass.
Wow. And you need your goalie to come up with the save at the right time. And Felix Gerard is going to get the great opportunity, but the turnover by Rasmus Sandin, and a terrific dish from Schilling right onto the taper Gerard. He tries to go up and over the blocking glove of Michael Hutchinson, and I'll tell you, Michael Hutchinson with an excellent save to keep the Moose off the board as the Marlies power play will continue, but they would certainly like to be playing at the opposite end of things here and get their power play pointed back in the right direction.
Liljegren pushes it in, and then he is submerged as it is all the way back down the ice. The power play having a little bit of difficulty here in the opening minute of it. Liljegren will skate into this one. Back out through the middle, decides not to drop it back, and this time he does find Zach O'Brien getting some power play time, and Kestner as well. Liljegren finds Timashov, the open man. Down the wall he goes, below the goal line. Lays it back to the hash marks, and Liljegren cross to O'Brien. Down low, Timashov again rolls back up high. Here's Liljegren back to Timashov. Out front, he's got help. Moves it back. Liljegren with the shot. Loose out front. And trying to get to it was Ferguson. As they play it back the other way, Liljegren is going to go into the box for tripping.
Well, and Eric Comrie with a terrific save through all kinds of traffic as Timashov with the sauce pass across, and the one-time shot by Timothy Liljegren catches the Manitoba goaltender in the chest protector. He can't find the loose puck, and as it squirts free, it's Liljegren who's going to try to pinch in, and he upends the Manitoba Moose player, and as a result, the penalty as the trip between the legs of J.C. Lipone, and we're going to go to 4-on-4 for the next 30 seconds, and then the Moose will get an opportunity in their power play as we continue here in a scoreless game.
Back up high, comes back over Spacek. 4-on-4. Challenged, and Engvall tries to come over this. Chipped away by Jardine. He's got Engvall, and down the right side, Carcone, but he had no chance to come in on the entry as he got 8 seconds left to go in the 4-on-4. Jardine up ice, finds Carcone, and he nearly had a step on a change. Picked up and right back the other way. The Moose on the power play now across the blue line. Marco Dano out of the box, drops it back. Mason Appleton fresh down from the Winnipeg Jets. Bobbles it, gets it, and sends it back up high to the line. Right back over, waiting for it. Pullman. There's the shot, scores! Seth Griffith on the power play opens it up for the Manitoba Moose. 7 minutes in to this first period exactly.
Well, the Manitoba Moose, they do an excellent job of gaining the offensive zone, and then they work the puck around. Pullman gets it at the point. He pedals to the middle. He dishes it off to his right, and it's going to be the former Marley Seth Griffith who risks it past Michael Hutchison, and the Manitoba Moose draw first blood on the power play. The 9th goal of the season for Griffith, and the Manitoba Moose with a 1-0 advantage here at the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto.
And join in again here as the Marlies give up the first goal. Remember, a great sign on home ice as Oligny looks up ice, and all the way back in that goes. Hutchinson plays it off into the corner. Marincin looking for it. Shot through the crease, played by Hutchinson. Oligny again. Round behind the goal he goes. Pursued by Adam Brooks, coming out the near side. Dano. Liljegren trying to get to it. Bracco chips it back out, but right back to it. Nelson Nogier. Nogier hangs on and then looks for an exit strategy. Seth Griffith couldn't quite get it up back out. And he lifts it out, but he gives up possession as Marincin sends it back over to Vincent Loverde. Round behind the goal. Loverde waits for everything to change out here in front of him. Colin Greening comes on, and so does Griffin Molino. Here's Adam Brooks. Back up through center. Brooks playing it along. Molino trying to squeeze by. Hard to the boards. Logan Stanley, and Brooks sends one through the crease. Sandin toward the goal. Out the other side. After it goes Loverde. Sending it back. Greening up high. There's Sandin back over. Hanging on Juris. He's under some duress, and it skips off side of the goal. Molino fighting for it there. Coming to it is Greening. Right back to the boards, and out it comes. Pedersen, back check by Juris, and here comes Greening too as Juris moves it back safely to Loverde. Finding some help in Sandin. Up ice, Greening just plays it in. Juris will go after it. The Marlies will make changes. Down 1-0 to the Moose in the first period. Cross ice, Timashov tried to tap it down. Missed it, and Stojkovic winds up blast on goal. And Hutchinson will grab this up and hang on. A power play goal by the Manitoba Moose on an early morning game from Seth Griffin.
Well, the Manitoba Moose have got a 1-0 advantage. It's a power play tally by Seth Griffith, who gets his 9th of the season. And I'll tell you, the Wallaceburg, Ontario native feels pretty good about coming back and playing against the Toronto Marlies. And, he's been on, a bit of a whirlwind the last couple of years. He's gone from Providence to Toronto to Rochester to Manitoba here in the American Hockey League, and obviously times in all those NHL places as well. He is a point game guy here in the American Hockey League, and he's so skilled, and he's just been unable to get that traction at the NHL level. But I think the Moose, with his 40th point of the season in 49 games here, is a guy that down the stretch for this hockey club needs to catch fire, help them if they want to find themselves in a Calder Cup playoff opportunity come mid-April.
He's been everywhere, man. Stojkovic
put up points in every American Hockey League city, big time. In fact, second in the league a couple of years back.
Here's Molino in behind the D. Picks it up, was going in after it on the rebound, and Comrie turns them both aside.
Wow, what a save by Comrie to keep this a 1-goal advantage for the Moose. And he stares down Molino as it's 1-on-1.
Up the wall. Back up to the line and back to Stanley. Here's Pullman again toward the goal, and that is wide push there by the goaltender Hutchinson. Stanley along one side of the goal. Played back off the wall. To it, Bracco, not out. Stanley looks in, Bracco in front of it. Far side, diving over Hutchinson. And a great opportunity by Appleton, but he just could not corral it fast enough to find the empty net. Hutchinson dives over and takes it away.
Action at both ends of the ice. And this is a cross-ice pass. And Griffin Molino just outlegs the defender, who gets caught standing flat-footed. And a huge right pad save by the goaltender Comrie. Then you come right back the other way. And Mason Appleton, who gets sent back from the Winnipeg Jets. And he gets a golden opportunity to extend the Moose lead. And Hutchison does a great job of going from his left to his right to keep the Moose in check.
Only played 19 games here, Appleton.
18 points in 19 games is the second-year pro. Spent 36 games up in the National Hockey League. 3 goals, 10 points with the Winnipeg Jets. And again, a much welcomed addition to Coach Vincent's club here in Manitoba.
There's Vincent Loverde as he comes back, trying to cut toward the goal. It's picked up by Bracco. Side of the goal, looking for it, McBaptiste. Wobbles up to the blue line and hops over Brooks' stick, and he sends it all the way back as Loverde comes back to it. Screaming after it was Gerard. And now Sandin has a little trouble getting it back out. It rolls in toward the goal, scores! And that one finds its way bouncing, hopping, and popping past Hutchinson. Wow. And the Moose are up 2-0.
Well, you know what? You need breaks when your team is desperate for goals, and that's exactly what transpires here for the Manitoba Moose. But a hot potato for Rasmus Sandin, this second turnover here in this first period of play. It goes off a couple of different defenders as Dano throws it towards it. It goes off the skate, and then I believe off the leg of the defenseman Vincent Loverde right in front of Michael Hutchison, and it bounces between his legs and finds its way into the Toronto goal. And just like that, the Manitoba Moose have extended their lead to 2 here in period number 1 as Marco Dano gets on the board for the Manitoba Moose.
Engvall plays it back up as Liljegren comes back to it. Carcone. Timashov turns around, looking out front for Engvall. Side of the goal. This one in amongst the feet. And it's gathered in by Timashov again. Round behind Carcone along the near boards. And Engvall will have to chase this down on the backhand. Sharply to the blue line. Long distance shot. And Liljegren turns around out of the corner. Spinner out front. Carcone looking to find a way to some open ice. It is knocked off his stick, and he has to travel all the way back for it. It was just last week that these two teams met. School Day game 2. Some early morning stuff out of both squads. And Marlies took a lead, and then Jimmy Oligny cut it in half. Now the Moose have themselves a pretty decent lead in the very early part of this hockey game. Kessner down the right side, looking out front, decides to turn back. Plays it down the wall. Ferguson lets it go, and now O'Brien will pressure for it. Schilling looks for a way up and out, and he does find it. Playing it in. Christian Reichel trying to get to it, and is played into some open ice. Chasing it is O'Brien, but it'll be Logan Shaw who picks it up. Turns around and looks up ice. Logan to Logan. Here's Stanley looking back for Shaw again, and he's got Juris right in front of him. Cross ice pass, good feed, shot off of Hutchinson's left shoulder. Right back, picked up. Loosing the boots here for the Manitoba Moose on a Wednesday morning in Toronto. That one pops up and into the crowd. 7:03 left to go in the first period. One that found its own way into the goal past Hutchinson. We'll be back.
Well, Mark O'Donnell has given his Manitoba Moose a 2-0 lead in this hockey game here in Toronto this morning. And an unassisted goal is the turnover by Rasmus Sandin for the Toronto Marlies, and it ends up in the back of the net. And sometimes you need a lucky bounce to go your way, and Mark O'Donnell knows he's trying to center the puck, and it went off a Toronto skate and went right back the opposite direction and hopped, and it ended up between the legs of Michael Hutchinson. And 7:03 to play here in period number 1, and the Toronto Marlies find themselves in an 0-2 hole, looking to get back on track as shots favoring the Moose 10-4 so far in this one, as they've got the 2-goal advantage.
Here's Brooks back across the line. Baptiste going to the goal. He got it in the feet, and now he takes it to the end boards. The battle for it. Stojkovic pressing in Adam Brooks, the Winnipeg native. Baptiste holds off his man and gets a hold of the puck and drives a little bit of room into his game. Sandin lays it around behind. Bracco picks it up out of the corner, looks out front, hangs on. Bracco going for a run toward the goal. Rebound stopped by Comrie as Baptiste thought for sure he had that one.
Well, the Toronto Marlies pressuring in the offensive zone, looking to get on the board here and cut this Manitoba lead in half. And you work it down low, and it's Jeremy Bracco. He loves those 2 and 10s with the feet, and he throws it towards goal. Hits a skate in front. Rasmus Sandin thinks he's going to get this puck. He can't quite reach us, but Nick Baptiste gets that opportunity, and a sharp eye by the goaltender, Eric Comrie. He makes sure he grabs it and doesn't offer a second opportunity.
Logan reaching back, trying to get that one. Engvall allows him to get to it. And Martin Marincin. Heavy pressure here from the Manitoba Moose that you saw at the end of the last game. The Marlies were up 4-1. And then the Moose just started to drive it with the extra attacker on. Here's Carcone racing after. The opening scoring for the Marlies last week and in the game completely. Hands that off to Marincin, who looks out front. Marincin hangs on, looking for Carcone in the slot, and that centering pass. A rise shot from distance. Timashov scores. He completely fools Hutchinson, who did not get a look.
Well, Dmytro Timashov, who was the overtime hero on Saturday night in Syracuse, gets the goal in back-to-back games, and this line has been outstanding. But it's Martin Marincin who starts the play as the defenseman jumps in. They keep control of the puck, and a little give and go as Timashov is going to skate around the top, and he just looks towards the goal, turns his body, and snaps it. There's some traffic in front of Eric Comrie. He can't come up the loose puck, and Timashov's eighth goal of the season, and his third in the last 6 games, has cut the lead in half. It's a 2-1 game, still in favor of the Manitoba Moose.
Well, Timashov driving his play here. He's having a career year. This is his best in the American Hockey League.
Well, I tell you, after going 29 games without a goal, he's got it going in the right direction. And it really starts from shooting the puck more. And it's always been something that I always would shake my head, that he would always look for the perfect pass instead of shooting. He's shot the puck a lot lately, and as a result, 3 goals, 6 games.
Stands to reason if you've got a decent pass, you're going to have a decent shot. Juris trying to play it back up and out. Stanley toward the goal, and that one up and into the glass. Redirected that way. Loverde back out. Appleton plays it to the line. Scrambling at the line to keep it in. Shaw side of the goal. He was looking for Appleton, right back at him. And now Harkins battles for it. The referee in the middle of it too, as it comes back up to Stanley. Cross ice, unloading, and that one skips wide and redirected there, but it took a right turn instead of a left as Greening plays it into the corner. He'll go after it himself. Colin Greening tried to tip it back, hoping Brooks was just a little closer than he was. And right back, Jardine hit something in the ice. He went down, but the puck dropped too far in to take advantage. Jardine knocks his man down, goes down again. And Spacek gets it back up to the line, showing toward the goal and off the pad of Hutchinson. Right back out. The Marlies trying to collect themselves. And then they'll get a chance here and a bit of a breather as the Moose make changes. Subban back up through the middle. Fires one off the glass, and that one kicked back behind the goal. Adam Brooks comes away with it up front, and Jeremy Bracco, he just got it a little short on him. He's
kind of jammed them a little bit, but a great opportunity. Some good work by Adam Brooks down below the goal line, spots his winger coming out there, and Bracco
here's Lilligren.
Gets a great chance.
Shoots, sent it wide. Back up at the line. Brooks trying to keep it in. He does. The Marlies interested in a change as well, with less than 3.5 minutes to go in the first period. Dropped in on the goaltender, picking it up back at the side of the goal. Coming in hard after that one was Felix Gerard. He's had a couple of good chances on some good bounces.
Well, it was the rebound after Schilling dumped it in, and it was a bouncing puck, and Hutchinson had to give it a kick to make sure it didn't get by him, and it almost ends up on the tape of Gerard perfectly, but it just goes wide.
Well, we got a penalty coming up here for hooking. And when we come back, the Toronto Marlies are going to try and even things up after a Dmytro Timashov goal.
Well, in the penalty box for the Toronto Marlies, it's Josh Kessner, who's playing his first American Hockey League game here today with the Toronto Marlies, and it's in the offensive zone as he gets his stick into the hands of Brent Peterson, the defenseman of the Manitoba Moose, and as a result, the Moose will head back to the power play. They're 1-for-1 in the hockey game, looking to see if they can establish that 2-goal advantage again here as they lead 2-1 with 3 minutes to play in period 1.
This will bring out their power play unit, led by Logan Shaw at center, Marco Dano on the left, Seth Griffith on the right. Mason Appleton back and Tucker Poolman, both fresh back from the Jets. They will face Colin Greening and Josh Juris up front. Loverde back with Marincin at D. In amongst the forest, it comes off the wall, and Logan Shaw plays it back to the line. Appleton shoots, and that one goes off of Hutchinson and out of play.
I think that went off Hutchinson's mask and up and over the glass. But again, it's a battle and a scrum off the face-off, and the Manitoba Moose come up with it, and Poolman watches, and he tries to set Appleton up for the one-timer, but doesn't quite put it in the right spot, so he has to catch the pass, and then he tries to go up and over the shoulder of Hutchinson, but goes off the mask instead.
Off the draw, one back by Josh Juris. Waiting on it was Loverde. Good patience, and he sends it to length. Collecting it, Tucker Poolman. From behind his own goal, he steps out, looks to drop it back, and he does. Seth Griffith along to Marco Dano. The 2 goal scorers across the line, but would have been offside, and they play it all the way back. The Marlies do, and change out the folks up front. Dmytro Timashov and Pierre Engvall. Seeing some daylight. Back in. Shaw pokes it back into the corner. Timashov picks it up. He tried to pry it back out. Now he's got it on the backhand. Lifts it right between the 2 Moose players. Seth Griffith lost an edge, went down, and boy, Griffith nearly hands one over to Pierre Engvall, who's on a bit of a roar. And cutting back toward the goal was Appleton. He sent it back up high, shot cross ice. Appleton didn't quite catch it where he wanted to, but boy, they make good puck movement. They catch him on a one-time. That puck's going to find a way. Appleton calls for it at the side of the goal. Out of the corner. Up high with a little opposition from Timashov. There's the turn on it. Toe save. Hutchinson, and Engvall picks it up with Timashov. Just going to drop this one in. Bouncer, and that one caught up by Comrie. Almost looked a little like it was going to get tricky.
Well, both goaltenders in this period number 1 have had to come out and defend those high hoisting, bouncing, rolling pucks towards them. And again, we'll get the Moose, who moved that puck extremely well in their power play, and that time spot check with the shot, and Michael Hutchison with that right toe pad save. And you know, again, you look at that, Eric Comrie coming out and making sure on those bouncing pucks, never take anything for granted. You get out and you make sure it doesn't get by you, and then he covers it for the whistle because he's got a Toronto Marley parked on the doorstep looking for some crumbs.
That one gets caught up by Hutchinson, and Liljegren has to play it off into the corner to get some space. Here's Baptiste. Kessner out of the box. Baptiste and Brooks with Kessner. As it comes back, Baptiste shoots, and he was looking 5-hole, but Comrie shut it down with 50.8 seconds left to go in the first period. Great chance by Baptiste.
Well, Nick Baptiste, 25 goals back in the 16-17 season, and he is a guy that's shown here in the American Hockey League that he can be a dominant goal scorer when he gets the opportunity, as Brooks slides it to him on the wide side, and he goes in and tries to get it past Comrie, but I like the way Comrie came out, challenged, cut the angle down, and then swallowed up the puck.
Stanley from behind his own goal in the last minute of play here in the first period. That one will catch an edge and ride all the way down as Hutchinson plays it to Marincin. Good communication there between the goaltender and the D. Long shot wide. And in behind the goal it goes, and into the near corner once again. J.C. Lepond. Bracco back with Marincin, trying to play it back out. Lepond looking out front on a centering pass. Backhander up and off into the corner harmlessly. And it is jostled to the wall. Back up and out as Adam Brooks comes to it. Played right back in, but the Moose are making a change, and we've got less than 10 seconds to go. Marincin will wait it out. Appleton chases him out from behind the goal, and that'll do it. After one period of play, the Toronto Marlies give up the first 2 goals of the game, but Dmytro Timashov answers back, and the kids go wild. We'll be back with more in the intermission on Leafs Nation Network.
The Manitoba Moose are up 2-1. It was former Marley Seth Griffin that opened up the scoring in the power play for the Marlies. It's been 6 games since he scored a goal. Then Marco Dano for the Manitoba Moose put in another one until Dmytro Timashov scored 1 to make it a 2-1 game. That's second straight game that he has had a goal. It's his 3rd goal in the last 6 games. For more on the second period, let's head back upstairs to Todd and Bob.
Well, thanks, Kelsey. There you get a look at Seth Griffith, who put together a solid campaign for the Marlies a few years ago. looking to drive the Manitoba Moose into the playoffs. It's a tall order, 55 points on the year. Sandin, a little bit of trouble again with it as he plays it quickly past Loverde and knocking it down. Vincent Loverde in the corner, running into some problems. Here comes Sandin again as he looks up ice. Carconi through the middle, plays it off Timashov, and then comes after it as it's chipped back out into center ice. Loverde moving it to Sandin. And now Timashov across the line. He hangs on and then dips it off to Engvall. Shoots, and Engvall off the goaltender Comrie. Back up at the line, Liljegren. Playing it down to Timashov. With a handoff to Carconi as it comes back up the wall. Timashov along to Liljegren and now down into the corner. Engvall, a little pause toward the goal. Engvall with a shifty shot. And now Engvall tries to dip it back out to Carconi. Doesn't get there, and the Marlies breaking it off as a long pass through center is knocked down by Engvall. He'll rotate off, and here comes Molino. He's got Greening down into the corner. Greening looking back up front. Molino picks it up, looking for Juris, but tipped away by Stojkovic as he labors back to the bench. And Dano playing it out, but it comes to Sandin as he gets into the corner. Hangs on and waits it out. Marincin. Greening lifts it off into the far corner. Doesn't get there, but Greening comes right back after it. Spacek in front of the Marlies bench with Molino. Shakes loose. Greening comes back to make sure it doesn't go wrong. And it is played in by Juris, and the Marlies make changes. Noje plays it back. Up ahead, Lepon just tips it back in. Gerard working against Sandin. Lepon and Loverde come to it. Adam Brooks gets it away, and now Baptiste 3-on-2 back the other way. Here's Brooks across the line. Looks, shoots off the post. Ever so close for Adam Brooks.
Now Adam Brooks, the Winnipeg native, 6 points in his last 6 games, looking to draw the Toronto Marlies even, but the pipe doesn't allow it to get by Eric Comrie.
Long one, turned away by Comrie, and now Baptiste. Here they come again. Brooks with Bracco on the right. Baptiste trying to stay on side. He does as it comes back over to Jardine in the corner. Brooks past him, and Lepon plays it out, and 2-on-1 back the other way. Opportunity, Peterson, the shot, rebound, came bouncing over. And now another good opportunity, but played up to the line, not out. Hutchinson without a stick. Noje working to it, tip side of the goal. McLeish getting it back out front, backhander, and reaching behind him. Hutchinson able to get his stick back. The Moose, long shot, and again a good chance. That one knocked down. Jardine in on goal. Hutchinson gets to it, and a shot in on goal there.
You know, Michael Hutchinson having some difficulties hanging on to pucks here in period number 2. But we're going to get chances at both ends of the ice. And the first one with the Toronto Marlies coming up the ice. 3-on-2 break. Adam Brooks cuts across the middle. He unleashes a shot, goes off the pipe and out the other way. And then the Moose right back the other way. We got the defenseman Brent Peterson. The shot off the right arm of Michael Hutchinson. And then another opportunity that he riffs on. But as play continued there, 2 more opportunities as Hutchinson gets his body in front of it, but he can't come up with the loose puck. So the Moose trying to get that 2-goal advantage back all over Toronto here in the early going in period number 2.
Stojkovic let one go, but it was Timashov in the way of it. Marincin plays it back out. Here's Engvall and Carconi heading back, trying to even it up. Stojkovic, Carconi, backhander, and a penalty on the play as Carconi driving the goal. Comrie made the save, but he also drew the penalty.
Well, again, a big save for the goaltender, and this time it's Eric Comrie, and he stops Michael Carconi from tying the hockey game, and to the penalty box will go Stojkovic, and a great chance as some speed through the neutral zone, and Carconi beats Stojkovic to the net, and he gets the puck off the stick of Engvall, and he gets hooked as that left toe of Comrie comes out to prevent Toronto from tying the hockey game, but they will head back to the power play looking to see if they can draw even here. 16:25 to go in period number 2.
Adam Brooks out to take the draw. Logan Shaw wins it back, and it is cleared all the way down the ice. Hutchinson is just going to hand this to Rasmus Sandin. He's got Bracco running in behind him. Logan Shaw follows it up, and Baptiste plays it right back to Carcone. He doesn't like the look of that speed, and Carcone drops back one more time. Shaw just confusing the issue a little bit as Carcone drives through the middle, plays it off to Baptiste as it's up to the line and back out, and now a race for it as Bracco. Appleton was looking to get a shorthanded chance. He'll go off as the Marlies power play has not found a way to get inside the zone just yet. Sandin drops it back. Carcone. Now Brooks winds his way down the wall, sends it back up high. Sandin into the corner, off the wall. Off front, tip scores. Adam Brooks ties it up at 2 apiece on a great feed from Jeremy Bracco.
Well, Jeremy Bracco continues to show his tremendous vision and his ability to pass pucks. Brooks is going to get it in across the line. He dishes it back to Rasmus Sandin, and then Brooks goes to the goal from there. And when Sandin dishes it and gives the puck to Bracco, Bracco takes a look to his left, and he just spots the stick of Brooks, and he puts it right on the tape. And Adam Brooks, his 4th goal in his last 7 games, has tied this game up at 2 apiece on a power play goal for the Toronto Marlies.
And the power play has success again for the Toronto Marlies against this Manitoba squad. Say it was running at 40%. It's now 7 for 17. Here's Loverde. Long shot. Loose puck. And Timashov just wandered over it as it comes back out into center.
And Comrie makes a save there. He did not know where the puck was, as there was all kinds of traffic in front as the shot hit him, and his defense just moved it to safety.
Jardine toward the goal, blocked by Oligny. Jardine again pulling it back off the wall. Juris out of the corner, looking to play it high to Timashov. He does. Dmytro Timashov at the blue line. It converges on him. He gets it back out front, looking for Josh Juris. Timashov comes off, and it is played along down the wall. O'Brien handles it behind the goal. A little bit of speed. Throws it off the goaltender's pads on a sneaky shot. Back up to the blue line. Marincin, long stick, able to corral it. Round behind the goal. O'Brien. Oligny plays it up, but not far. In fact, it doesn't get far at all. Back into the corner it comes.
Hit the official with it, and it stayed in the zone.
There's O'Brien out front. Ferguson, good stick on the play. Out front by Marco Dano. And Ferguson right on top Liljegren, and he is hammered into the post, and Liljegren slow to get up. He collided with the post, and the Marlies going on the power play here as Lepon touches the puck. Interference to call, and Liljegren comes right to the bench, and he went straight hard into the post.
Yeah, he's shaken up big time, but the Marlies will get back to the power play.
Timothy Liljegren shaken up on the play. We'll be back with the Marlies power play.
Now 25-year-old Regina native J.C. Lepon in the penalty box for interference, so he's going to have a rest for 2 minutes or less. But some tremendous pressure after the Marlies tied this game on a power play. Timothy Liljegren with an opportunity. He misses the goal after the Brady Ferguson pass, and then he gets shoved from the backside, and he hits his head on the goalpost, and he's shaken up on the play, but looks to be okay. But nonetheless, the Toronto Marlies will look to see if they can grab the lead for the first time in the hockey game as they head back to the power play.
Well, he got the cover back at the pumpkin there, and I'll put him back in the patch as soon as he's ready. All the way back up the ice. Hutchinson and Sandin as the Marlies again find themselves with the extra man. Sandin looking for Carcone as he dives in around behind the goal. Carcone As it comes up the wall, Logan Shaw plays it back. Mason Appleton driving in, but cut off by Sandin, and now Brooks picks it up. Calling for it, Bracco, as they're trying to catch him on a change here. Brooks across the line, drops it back. He gets it back out front. Baptiste all alone, hangs on, and Comrie tracks him down. And now Dano and Brooks get into it. Gerard joins in.
Well, what a golden opportunity to make an impression with your new teammates in your first game. And Nick Baptiste gets a golden opportunity after a nice play once the Marlies get into the zone, as Adam Brooks makes a little drop pass, and then the chip play by Carcone right onto the stick of Baptiste, and he's one-on-one with Eric Comrie, and Comrie does an excellent job of buying his time and waiting out Baptiste. He doesn't go for the fake and go down early, and he fights it off and keeps the Toronto Marlies from grabbing a 3-2 advantage. And Baptiste shaking his head as he thought he had the go-ahead goal on his stick.
Off the draw. They don't like it. Baptiste will take the draw. Carcone on his left. I get a whistle, and he's going to put it on the ice. They are. One back, and cleared by the Manitoba Moose. Hutchinson back. 7 minutes gone here in the second period. The Marlies have tied things up on an Adam Brooks power play goal. Baptiste cross ice as Brooks picks it up at the line and then tried to chip it back over to Sandin. He has to race back to cover that up, and he looks ahead trying to find Carcone. He does. Across the line, Carcone knocked off his stick. Stojkovic goes back to it, playing it up, and that one was a bit of a blur as it headed.
No, it was
north.
Good communication by the Moose defense. Stojkovic hears his partner calling for the puck, and they make sure it gets down all the way 200 feet back. Go the Marlies as they continue on their power play with 30 seconds to go.
Handed into the corner, Ferguson after it, but it'll be the Moose that get a hold of it and drop it in on Michael Hutchinson. Subban carries it. He's got Ferguson, Kessner, and O'Brien working on the power play. As Timashov backing them up. It comes to the wall and chipped right back out. Subban hangs on to it here.
Well, the symmetry between those three playing together in the ECHL doesn't hurt Coach Keefe to put them on the power play together as they know each other.
Here's a chance out from Kessner. Sent it just wide.
Oh, what an opportunity. And I'm sure Josh Kessner would like to have that one back again because he didn't get much on it.
Here's Ferguson again looking for the centering pass. He's got Juris out there. Kessner fighting through it. Looks back up high, finds Marincin at the line toward the goal. Looking for the tip was Juris. Subban with a blast. It comes back over to Marincin at the blue line. Looking for the tip was Juris. Coming in, Greening with a launch in on goal. And Subban is knocked hard to the ice as he does a couple of barrel rolls and is struggling to get back up as J.C. Lapon in the middle of that again. That puck ended up out of play. And
after
Subban
the power play opportunity, the Marlies continue with the pressure, and they get a couple of golden opportunities, and you get the giveaway by the Moose, and it goes right onto the stick of number 23, O'Brien, and O'Brien throws it out front, and Kessner just whistles it by that left goal post. And they continue with the pressure. At the end of it all, a great chance coming off the bench was Colin Greening, and turned aside by Eric Comrie.
Juris comes in for the draw as Greening finished off the last play with a good chance. Subban went to the bench. Indoor goal shot right on from Greening. He looked skyward. He thought for sure, but a good stick save by Comrie. Keeps it at 2 apiece.
Momentum certainly going in the favor of the Marlies after they score a power play goal to tie it at 2 and then continue to put the pressure on. This is a good bounce, or fortuitous bounce for Toronto, as it goes off the shaft of the stick of a Moose player right onto the tape of Colin Greening, and Eric Comrie had to be quick as a cat to make sure he came up with a save to keep this a tie hockey game.
It pops out of the pile and back up and past Liljegren. That'll travel the rest of the way as Hutchinson comes back and plays it. Off into the corner, back up at the line and out. Retreating back. Play ahead. Here's Shaw with a chance. Liljegren closing, looking for something to center to over to Stojkovic. It missed him. Harkins toward the goal. Stojkovic sends it over to the far boards. Engvall trying to pick it up, and it is back up high as it's off into the boards. Liljegren recaptures it and plays it up the boards. No, he played it up and out of play. It went off the windows. 9.5 gone, nearly, in the second period. Tied at 2.
Well, the Moose looking to see if they can come back and grab some momentum on their side, as Toronto has seized the momentum of this hockey game here in period number 2. And you get Logan Shaw, who comes in across that line, and he's a guy that leads the Moose with 23 goals on the season. He's looking to make a play instead of taking it to the goal, as I would like to see him continue to take it to the net.
Pullman puts one down into the mix. Doesn't make it by. Off of Hutchinson. Chipped off to Adam Brooks, and now he and Bracco as Brooks plays it in. Bracco going after it. Back up the wall it comes, and coming in after it was Loverde, and now back down the ice come the Moose. Odd man rush. Griffith waits on it, plays it back over, and Loverde a stick on it. Cross to Griffith, steps by one, looking back up front on the centering pass, and Baptiste comes up with the puck and breaks up the play.
Wow, terrific defensive play right there by Nick Baptiste, who gets his stick on the ice to intercept that puck off the stick of Griffith.
Brooks toward the goal. He'll get another shot. He was heading for the top shelf. It got a little high. Sandin plays it back behind the goal. Bracco, here's a chance, backhander! And Baptiste just got below the goal line on an odd angle and couldn't find a way to finish it. But boy, has he had some good chances in this hockey game.
And he's been good at both ends, as we just witnessed there on that last shift, as he made a great defensive play and then almost gets rewarded as he gets another opportunity on Comrie.
Backing up the Moose, Stojkovic. Timashov causing some havoc. It comes back up, launched in and off the goaltender by Subban, who's back out on the ice. Gerard plays it up and in. Hutchinson convinces it along the boards. It comes to Carconi, and now back he comes with Timashov. Engvall following two on the play out front. Is centered to Jardine. He didn't get the shot away. He plays it back for Engvall behind the goal. Engvall up the board. Subban with another blast. Here's Jardine. He's working out some frustrations, I think, off the hit. Jordan Subban. As it comes back up, Timashov along the wall, trying to keep it in. Gerard bumped up by Subban. Happy enough to throw the body at it too, as Engvall puts it off the far wall. Jardine gives it right back. Engvall behind him as he heads back up ice. That will be it for him as he comes off, and the Marlies make changes. Jardine, sharp one, got by everybody, and Oligny plays it back behind. Peterson, as Nogier plays it up the wall, and that stays in. Chasing it down, Zach O'Brien, but he lifts it up, and at the line, Kessner nearly had it coming back. Here's Christian Reichel, offside the call with 7:42 remaining in the second period. A power play goal by Adam Brooks has this all tied up at 2.
Well, Jordan Subban having a good hockey game here today. He's been involved in it in a lot of different ways, taking it to the net, shooting the puck. He got hit and knocked over a little bit earlier, but he delivers a big body check out in the neutral zone himself on that last shift. And when you get the opportunity to get back in the game, because he's been a healthy scratch a number of times this year, and with Callie Rosen out with the shot to the foot this past weekend, he gets this opportunity to get back in and gain the confidence of the coaching staff again. And you play like this, like the spirit he's got going in this one this morning.
Rosen out for 2 games so far. And Brooks off the draw. Hard back in. Marincin. Didn't quite gobble that one up. And it's picked up as Peterson sends it back up high to the blue line. Launched in, but off target. Pullman. Peterson will turn back the other way. Cutting back toward the goal. Looks back up high. Pullman hangs on, shoots. He sent it wide. And now Bracco got a stick on it, and he thought it was going out. And it wasn't. Knocked down was Lilligren by his opposite number. And it comes up and out of play with 7:03 left to go in the second period. Well, if you want to become a Marlies insider, and there's no reason why you shouldn't, get closer to the Marlies than ever with the Marlies Insider. You get exclusive ticket offers, access to Marlies contests. All you need to do, marlies.ca, Insider. All sorts of great stuff will start to happen to you. I can't promise that your whole life will change, but things will change. Things will change, Bob. Here's Juris. Off the wall, knocked back to the blue line. And it ends up with off Molino and over the snowbank. It's a couple of seconds off the clock. They'll do it again in the same face-off circle. Same face-off place, different face-off time. Shaw and Juris. Off the draw, Shaw wins it. This one toward Hutchinson. Third time's a charm, perhaps, as Michael Hutchinson had one going weird on him.
Yeah, he's bounced back from that, and you know, speaking to him this morning, certainly pumped up about playing his former team here today, and I think it's always a special thing when you get that opportunity. And obviously a lot of different bodies on this hockey club from last year. Even he said there's only 5 or 6 guys that are left from the team from a year ago, but you know, some wonderful times obviously with the Winnipeg organization for Michael Hutchinson, and now with the opportunity here with the Toronto Maple Leaf organization, in particularly here playing for the Marlies against his former team, the Manitoba Moose.
Well, this time the draw comes out across the line, and it is won back by Josh Juris. Valverde comes back up and out, allows the Moose to get a hold of it as they send it back in. Far corner, Juris trying to wrestle his way back out of the corner with the puck. He's got Molino to help out. Molino, a couple of taps on it, get amongst the feet. Somebody looking to pull that fish out of the water, and Valverde looked like he landed it, and he does. Back up ice. That one has some distance to it. Not a bad play necessarily by Colin Greening to get that one out there and see if they can get organized up off the faceoff.
Well, the Moose starting to grab some of that momentum back here after giving up the tying goal to the Toronto Marlies, and then having the Marlies really pressure to get that go-ahead goal themselves. The Moose now back-to-back shifts have pinned the Marlies in a little bit in their own end as they're looking to see if they can regain the lead in the hockey game as we continue on at 2-2 with 6 minutes to play here in the second period.
Puck crosses the blue line. Spacek comes back. Greening comes to the bench. On comes Timashov. Spacek through the middle. Out wide. Shot right on the goaltender, and Hutchinson hangs on to that one, even though there was a little extra hello from Cameron Schilling. We will be back with more in the second period in a moment.
And you look at the record books back in 11-12, 28 straight wins for Norfolk. The Philadelphia Phantoms back in 04-05 had 17, so the next win, if they can do it for the Condors, would make them second best ever. And it's pretty outstanding, and I know that the Edmonton Oilers organization has gotten a lot of criticism over the last number of years of Bakersfield not being that great a hockey club. Well, they've changed things around as Jay Woodcroft, new head coach there this year, and they've done a terrific job as they've now won 17 straight games.
And the Oilers in town to play the Leaf. We'll preview that game coming up in the second intermission here. The Toronto Marlies and the Manitoba Moose in a school day game here at Coca-Cola Coliseum on the grounds of the Canadian National Exhibition. Engvall moving it back to Martin Marincin. Here's Carcone down the wall and getting some speed after it into the corner. He hangs up. Logan Stanley and coming away with it, Timoshaw. And they call that a hand pass, and it will come out across the blue line with less than 5 minutes to go in the second period. Some encouraging stuff if you're an Oilers fan to see the affiliate in the American Hockey League drive so many wins. But you, of course, Bob, as do I, remember that Norfolk team.
Yeah,
that was so good that year.
They beat the Toronto Marlies 4 consecutive games in the Calder Cup final. And John Cooper, the head coach of the Norfolk Admirals back then, now they were the Tampa Bay Lightning affiliate, and he's since gone on and has his Tampa Bay Lightning sitting atop the National Hockey League standings as well this year.
Jardine trying to work to it. That winning streak went on, or not the winning streak, but certainly into the next year. As it comes back to Jordan Subban.
I think it ended up like 35.
Now, back it goes. Lapon trying to play it back up and out. He does not get that done. Baptiste puts it on the stick of Jardine, and he gets it to Brooks behind the goal. Adam Brooks trying to drive out front. But they're able to get it from him and play it back out into center. Jardine there with it again. Sam Jardine flipped up, and that goes into the first row of the young fans in attendance here today. Well, the 90s, big decade for some people, and big decade for a lot of these Toronto Marlies. The Fanny Pack giveaway for the first 3,500 fans. Gary Lehman, Steve Thomas going to be here as well. It's this Saturday, 5 o'clock, versus the Cleveland Monsters, and you can get your tickets at marlies.ca. 90s night, all the way back to Rasmus Sandin, and back in.
Seems a long time ago, doesn't it?
Well, it seems a not ago for Rasmus Sandin. He's not a 90s. Here's Sandin dropping it back, and Sandin gets in the way of that one. Timoshaw investigates it just a little bit, but it's knocked past him as Loverde convinces along to Rasmus Sandin again. He tried to play it back out of the corner. Had a couple of Manitoba Moose get in tight on him. McLeish sends it back up high to the blue line. Waiting for it. Oligny side of the goal. He looked for McLeish again as it comes off the boards. Carcone picks it up and on to Engvall's stick. Along for Timoshaw. It got by him. This one's going to go for icing. As that pass just off the target with 3:15 left to go.
Well, and that's something where the Moose pressing a little bit, and then you get the opportunity to get to the red line and get a change, but a missed pass by the Marlies, and now you've got some fresh Moose players on the ice, and the Marlies tired, so an opportunity here with 3:15 to play for Manitoba to continue that pressure to see if they can come up with the go-ahead goal.
Carcone along to Timoshaw, and he plays it in as Engvall was coming in, and it just bounced in front of his stick as he was looking for an opportunity. Always the Marlies. 194 goals so far this year. Always thinking about offense as Molino. Greeny around behind the goal. Juris comes after it as well. It's up, and Shaw gets it back out. Appleton tries to turn it around, but it comes right back to Josh Juris racing in. Molino's shot right in to the Antlers as it is picked up by Eric Comrie.
Well, some good speed in transition for the Marlies, as you talked about, as Appleton tries to dump the puck in. It gets stripped, and right back the other way comes Toronto. And Josh Juris shows some good speed and shooting on the fly, forcing Comrie to come up with another save and have no second opportunity available as he squeezes it for the faceoff.
In comes Brady Ferguson in the Growler line. As Ferguson knocks it to the wall, Kessner trying to pick it back up. Ferguson will help out, but it goes off a skate awkwardly and right back the other way. We've got a penalty coming up here to the Toronto Marlies. Holding is going to be the call.
And it's going to be a holding the stick play. And I think it happens down as the Marlies trying to gain possession of the puck in the offensive zone. The puck squirts free, and
well, they've got somebody, but nobody's owning up to it. And finally, Josh Kessner decides he's seen the video. It might be him.
It happened down in the corner as Kessner tries to keep control of the puck in the corner, and he loses it, and then he grabs the stick of the Moose player, and as a result, Manitoba Moose head back to the power play with 2:27 to play here in the second.
Pullman back over one time, and that glances off as Griffith plays it back up high. Pullman waits on it. Griffith, he scored from just that spot. Open the game, stepping out front, Dano, and he is submarined by Loverde at the side of the goal.
Well, the Moose, I tell you, their power play, they get Pullman to Appleton and Hutchison with the first save, but then they regain possession of the puck in the offensive zone. You go from the half wall down by the goal line, and Dano wants to pull it out from down below the goal line and try to get to his forehand, but Hutchison does an excellent job of using his stick to poke the puck away, and then he grabs it for the whistle as we will continue on with 1:44 to go here in the Moose power play with a face-off to the left of Toronto goaltender Michael Hutchinson.
Juris and Shaw. Off the draw, back up Pullman. Playing it back up, Pullman. Juris trying to get in the way of it. Griffith draws down. Far side, Appleton waits. Turned away and back up the boards. Juris trying to get back to it. Pullman behind Griffith. He just sends it on an emergency up to the far side. Appleton at the line. Back to Griffith. He's got help out front. Centering pass back over off the skates of Marincin. Back up to Pullman. Over the far side. Down in the corner, Dano waiting for it back out front. He's tied up at the blue line. Pullman. Juris, that shot. Hard one, but into the glass. Redirected there, and now it'll be picked up by Appleton. Good movement here from the Moose. As Appleton takes it to the hash marks and down out front. They're looking for that centering pass. Nobody there. Griffith out of the corner. Back up. Pullman launches one out front and cleared on a good save by Hutchinson and a good stick by Marincin.
It's an excellent job by Marty Marincin to not get drawn out too far away from that blue paint, and Hutchinson comes up with the save off the stick from Pullman, but the rebound is there, and Marincin makes sure he clears it down the ice.
And Engvall trying to get it back out. He cannot. He was reaching for it, and the shot coming back the other way by Spacek. He was just looking to center it back out as Timoshev winds his way into some space. And now Timoshev back out. Boy, he had nearly had that one converge on him. Here's Liljegren back the other way. 5-on-5. Timoshev cuts back. Engvall, and at the line it gets by everybody as Kessner came screaming by the puck, but he was heading to the bench. Less than 20 seconds. Here's Sandin still with it. Carries it straight down Main Street. Dishes it off. Engvall looks in on the backhand. Tried to center it back. Didn't have enough on it. And it is behind the goal. We're going to finish out this 40 minutes of play at 2 apiece as the Marlies have come back in this one, Bob.
Well, Toronto with a good job on getting their power play to work for them here in the second period with the only goal of the period. And we've got a lot of terrific hockey to play and see who's going to come up with the victory here this afternoon.
Well, a good opportunity for the Moose. They're trying to win their first game in this season series. Let's head down to Kelsey ringside.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Toronto Marlies hockey. After 2 periods, it's tied 2 apiece with Adam Brooks' 14th goal of the season. That gives Jeremy Bracco his 41st assist, and that puts him in the #1 spot, tied for the #1 spot in the AHL in assists. For third period action, let's head upstairs to Todd and Bob.
Well, thanks, Kelsey. I sometimes think, Bob, coming in on the road that first period of a school day game, I think on the road you got a little bit of an advantage just because the home thing is just maybe a tad comfortable.
Well, yeah, you're right about that, but I like the fact these 11 o'clock games, for me as a player, would be fantastic because these guys are used to practicing around 11 o'clock in the morning, so the pace has been terrific through 40 minutes, no question about it. And this is one where the Marlies want to continue their strong play, but the Manitoba Moose, who are in the battle for their lives to try to get going, especially on the road, to help their chances of making a playoff spot this year. This is a big 20 minutes for them.
Back up at the blue line, Schilling toward the goal, kicked away by Loveri. It travels out front and cleared away by Hutchinson. Back up the line, long one into the corner as Carconi. Back up, centered, back out past Shaw. Stojkovic keeps it in. Back out front it goes as they're sending it right through the middle, but it is not making a connection point. Back out across the line, it's offside. And the Marlies get a chance to make a change without doing one on the fly. 40 seconds in.
Well, yeah, and then this is again, when you look at the Manitoba Moose, their home record, I think they're 12-0-2 in their last 14 home games, but it's their road record, 7-16-4 on the road this year. And if you're going to have another year where you're not going to qualify for the Calder Cup playoffs, I would say it's going to be a big reason why is going to be your play away from the friendly confines of the building in Winnipeg.
You got to win on the road. Well, certainly the Marlies did enough of that last season. Here's Liljegren at the line, puts one back over Bracco, back to Liljegren one time, and cut off by Comrie.
Well, Eric Comrie knows there's pressure on his club and on him to not allow another puck to get by him if his club wants to come away with the victory here this afternoon. And he battles some traffic again, as he's done all game long, and he comes up with a good save and makes sure there's no second opportunity.
Off the draw, scramble to it as Bracco comes away on a strong stick. He's got Liljegren heading toward the goal. He's still got it. Bracco looks out front, centered out. Baptiste with a shot off the goaltender. Comes back up to Adam Brooks. Down to Baptiste, looking for the cross ice as he feeds it into Adam Brooks. He rolls back up. At the line, Liljegren lost an edge, went down. Now Brooks will have to chase it as he puts it back to Marincin, and everybody's going to get in a bit of a change here. Looks like too many men.
As the Manitoba Moose are trying to make a wholesale change as the transition of Toronto losing that puck, and the Moose thought, okay, this is a great chance, we're going to sprint to the bench. But when Brooks gets to that loose puck inside his own line, he throws it up the wall, and it's played by a Moose player who comes off the bench. And as a result, I think that was J.C. Lepon, number 34, who grabs on that loose puck. And as a result, the Toronto Marlies will get a power play opportunity here with 18:28 to go. So about a minute and a half here into this third period in a 2-2 game. And some pressure now on the penalty killers for the Moose as Toronto will look to see if they can grab the lead for the first time in this hockey game.
Adam Brooks off the draw. He won't win that one as it comes back and all the way down the ice. Skitters back to Michael Hutchinson. Sandin looks up ice, finding Bracco. Cross ice, that one up and out of play behind the bench of the Manitoba Moose.
Well, the Moose do a good job of defending their blue line, not allowing easy access for Toronto to get their power play set up in their zone. And anytime they win that face-off to kick things off and ice the puck, and now you've already taken 16 seconds off that power play opportunity here, and Toronto has yet to even enter the Moose zone.
Rocco able to move it back over. And now Rasmus Sandin along to Bracco and across the line. He made a little move there, and Bracco upended by...
Oh, and that's going to be a penalty.
Girard.
And boy, that's a mental error right there. And, you know, that's something where Pascal Vincent is not going to be happy with the official. But, hey, this is one where Bracco, the whistle goes, and he chops his feet out from under him. That was probably 2 steamboats after the whistle. So this is an undisciplined play by Girard and puts his team in a horrible spot, as the Marlies now with 1:26 on a 5-on-3, and they've been money this year. When they've had 5-on-3 chances, they've made the opposition pay.
Well, the Marlies set up and trying to win it back. There's Baptiste, he's trying to get there. 11 5-on-3 goals so far this year for the Toronto Marlies. As Sandin gets across the line, he decides he's got to dump that one in. Back up the boards, past Timashov, past everybody, and all the way back down the ice. The Marlies.
This is some terrific work by the back end. Stojkovic the first time, and Schilling that time, as they get 2 clears all the way down the ice.
There's Timashov centering it back out, and the shot by Baptiste. He didn't get hardly anything on it, and it skipped right to Comrie.
It's unbelievable how quickly things can change, though, isn't it? As that puck comes in across, and Dmytro Timashov is going to end up with it, and he spots Baptiste on the backside, and it just skips as it gets to his stick, and he almost looks like he gets the TC Chin double hit there on the play. 2-stroke penalty as Eric Comrie again comes up with a good save.
Toronto calls a timeout, wisely so, as they have an opportunity here on the face-off in the offensive zone to set up a play with only 3 defenders in front of them. That will put Sandin, Timashov, Baptiste, Bracco.
And this is where
Brooks.
I feel the biggest hole in the Marlies team when they lose a guy like Mueller.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chris Mueller's been so good all season long, and he's that anchor on the power play, and especially 5-on-3, where he draws attention from a lot of different people. And they're going to have to figure one out here with 49 seconds to go to see if they can grab a lead in this one.
Brooks already with a power play goal in this one, as Baptiste tries to get to it. It wanders to the line where Sandin picks it up. He draws in, giving it back to Baptiste on a pitch and catch. And Baptiste goes low to Bracco. He comes wandering back up high. At the line, Bracco, Sandin, turning was Baptiste. He didn't get a shot away. As it comes back up, Shaw will pick it up and carry it, and then retreat back as Brooks took a little bit of a shot from Stojkovic, and that could have been very
Stojkovic has got to be careful there, because that certainly could have been an interference call. And that could have been disastrous for the Moose.
Brooks to the line. Sandin hangs on. 5 seconds left to go in the 5-on-3. Bracco draws in. Tipped up front. Picked up shot. No! Comrie got a piece of it, and it's 5-on-4.
Wow.
Back to the line. Flip back over. Bracco down low. Timashov. Bracco. Sandin looks in. Back to Bracco. Hangs on, and he's getting some heavy pressure there. Down into the corner, Timashov to the line. Sandin shoots, and that caught Stanley out front. And the Moose are going to clear this out, and they're going to clear out the 5-on-3 and the 5-on-4. Wow. A huge boost for the Manitoba Moose.
Hats off to the penalty killers of the Moose, as they do an outstanding job. But your best penalty killer has to be your goaltender, and Eric Comrie makes a couple of terrific saves. One off the stick on a redirection by Brooks, and then Baptiste again And we're going to continue to play on 2-2 and back to 5-on-5.
Great chance by the Marlies, but they do not convert as Dano cuts back in, and a penalty coming up to the Marlies as Dano cut in and a holding call. And now the Manitoba Moose will get a chance with the extra man.
We're going to take a look at the work by Comrie, and Adam Brooks feeds the puck up to the point, then he heads towards the goal. Jeremy Bracco with the pass for the one-time, almost like exactly how they scored the goal in period number 1. Comrie with that right leg comes out and stops it, and a terrific job by him. And then Baptiste gets the opportunity as well. And then we're going to get a penalty coming back the other way as Marco Dano keeps his feet moving and he gets hauled down. And just like that, the Manitoba Moose will get their power play opportunity here in the third period to see if they can break this 2-2 deadlock.
Round behind, draining is Ferguson in the box. Appleton, they got good movement on the power play. The Moose, even though their power play has struggled this year, they've got one today. Pullman over the far side, gets it back and plays it over. Shot dead on, and coming up to save Hutchinson on Shaw.
Well, Logan Shaw, who leads the Moose with 23 goals. And again, having a guy like Appleton and also Poolman back will ankle this power play. And Poolman with the perfect pass to Shaw. He puts it right in the wheelhouse for the one-timer. But a good read by Michael Hutchinson. And again, he makes sure he doesn't let that puck get away as he gets it for the whistle.
Valverde won't waste time. He'll get it back down the ice as Pullman comes back on it. 5 minutes gone in the third period and 15 seconds more. Back up to Shaw. He drops it back. Dano across the line and he dishes it off. It comes back into the corner. Hutchinson quick back into the goal. Back up the point. Shaw down into the corner. Gets it back, and now Juris trying to get a touch on it. Tipped back up and out by Greening. They'll have to clear the zone. Pullman back to Shaw. They make a change. Dano goes off. Less than a minute to go on the extra man. Seth Griffith. Engvall convincing him to think it over again. Now Griffith back across the line, driving toward the goal. Griffith, Appleton gets there, and it'll be Brooks who sends it back down the ice. Makes some contact, look like, on the bench of the Manitoba Moose.
Now the Marlies do a good job of challenging the Moose on the half wall, and they come up with the steal, and then it's going to end up with the face-off outside the Manitoba bench in the neutral zone after it hits a glove on somebody on the bench. And I think normally it would come back into the Toronto zone, but they deemed that the glove was hanging over inside the rink, so the puck would have made its way down the ice. But because the glove hits it from inside the surface, face-offs in the neutral zone.
Vincent Loverde behind the official, ahead to Engvall as he goes cross ice. Marincin picks it up and he finds Brooks, who gets it across the line. Now Engvall gets down low into the corner. Flips it right back up to Loverde as the Marlies doing a good job on the PK. Marincin launches one in on goal from a long way away. There's Adam Brooks still out there fighting to get a hold of that puck. Less than 10 seconds to go on the extra man. Cross ice, McKinn back across the line. And now Stojkovic cross ice, looking out front. There's the shot, knocked down, rebound, covered up. As we return to 5-on-5 play, Michael Hutchinson was able to come up with the puck as it dropped in front of him. We remain tied up at 2 apiece despite a number of power plays. Well, Kelsey showing some of the fans what they can take home. That is a fanny pack on 90s night. Ah, the fanny pack of the 90s. That was something. That'll come up on March 2nd as the Toronto Marlies host the Cleveland Monsters. It's this Saturday at 5 o'clock. And if you're a fan of the 90s, you got to be at this game. Marlies.ca is where you're going to pick up tickets. First 3,500 fans.
Might see a couple mullets.
Oh, my goodness. Back up, hard shot, got through to the goaltender, Hutchinson. He makes the save as Liljegren gets some pressure from Dano. Engvall comes in to help out. Pierre Engvall as the Manitoba Moose picking up the pace here in the mid-third period. Dano looks for the centering pass, not there. Schilling toward the goal, and Engvall was out front to help out his goaltender. Here's Marincin as he lifts it back up over the blue line. Stojkovic played it, and it's offside.
Well, Stojkovic, the leader of this hockey club, and as in his 4th year here, all with the Manitoba Moose, and missed the last 8 games with a concussion, and back in here today, and he is certainly a big component for the Moose as they drive towards trying to get back in this race for a Calder Cup playoff positioning in that Central Division.
Off the draw. Into the corner, Hutchinson behind his goal. He had some folks coming after him. Baptiste all the way over to Bracco. It wandered on him a little bit. Pullman comes back as Bracco reaches forward again. Off the wall and back the other way. Baptiste on the back check knocks it away, and Jordan Subban gets a glove in the face. Back up it comes. Pullman, far side, trying to track it down. Shot, that one comes ever so close, and in fact it hits the referee coming off the post.
That went off the pipe and hits the official. I believe he gets this in the face, and he's down. And
Jordan Noby comes in right away. There was no hesitation from the bench of the Marlies.
Great to see that, no question. Terrific response as you get somebody there to look after the official straight away.
That one even looked like it gained a little speed. He's back on his feet, and that caught him.
He's leaking a little bit.
You bet.
Great to see him get up, though, and make his way over. And
be curious to see how they handle this. The referee will go off. They'll likely finish this one out.
Boy, you heard it hit the pipe. It hit pretty solid, and it comes right back, and there it deflects.
There's some sort of physics involved in that puck getting faster off the pipe. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you.
Official, I believe, Kenny Anderson.
It is.
Who's the man who goes down and looking like he's going to go off for a couple of repairs. But we'll forge on. I mean, the good thing is, and you think of back in the day when there was only one referee and the 2 linesmen. Well, now with the 2 officials, you've got one still that he's going to have to do some work here now.
Yeah,
he's going to have to skate the length of the ice up and down.
Skating. That was back in the day when they were still using tree branches to take a whack at the puck. These ones are coming just a little bit quicker, to be sure. So a little bit extra pressure on Fred McDougall, or Peter McDougall rather. And the Marlies and the Moose. You got to one-enders the mind of the players, too. Maybe there's not an extra set of eyes out here. Juris. In against Shaw off the draw. And it comes to the boards. Back up. Oligny looks in and hands it back to Mason Appleton. He sends it right back. Oligny down low with a good stick on it by Loverde. Turning around, and that one's over the snowbank from Shaw.
And Logan Shaw off to the right of Michael Hutchinson, and a good job by Loverde to get his stick in there and not allow Shaw easy access, because he's probably the most dangerous Moose as far as not allowing him time and space to try and beat your goaltender.
Sandin looking ahead. He plays it off the glass and by everybody. That'll be picked up. Comrie hands that one over. And up and out it comes. Stepping by Harkins, but Loverde there as Harkins right on top of him. Sandin plays it up the boards and knocked off his stick. Sandin, good defensive play as Greening comes down the left side, plays it into the right corner. Timoshoff after it there. Greening as well as they meet up with Greening on his backhand. Steps out, shoots, and Greening put one off the pad of the goaltender. McKenzie comes away with it. Skylar McKenzie sending it ahead, and then it is back in as Hutchinson plays it past Brooks. On to Schilling, and that one is up and out of play as well, with nearly 9 minutes gone here in the third period. And you take a look at the standings for the Toronto Marlies, and they have climbed up a spot past Utica.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look at how tight this race is going to be, as the Marlies sit 4 points back of first place Syracuse, and Rochester sandwiched in between. But you can't afford to get in any kind of a slump, because there's 3 teams below them that are pushing for positioning as well. So it's going to be a race to the finish, I believe, here in the North Division.
After goes Bracco, but that one icing waved off. Bracco picks it up and is right back to it. He sends it up to Jardine, and now Liljegren, that one down toward the goal, and Brooks back up to the line. Jardine, he could not keep it in, and he backtracks to Adam Brooks. He looks to cut through the middle. He didn't have a lot of support behind him, so he backs it up on McLeish, and then he left it back for Martin Marincin. Now the Marlies deep in their own end, playing it back out. Timoshev off his stick, picking it up. Engvall, nice little move to get to it, but he plays it back outside the zone, and it is Marincin again, overloading on the right side, and then Engvall comes back left. Carcone sends it in. Comrie behind the goal, plays it back over. Stanley up and out. Carcone very nearly caught Comrie walking back to the goal. At the line, that one comes over offside. 9:49 left to go in the third period. It remains deadlock.
Well, our spotlight today, as we do each and every game here with the Marlies, is you spotlight someone from the other team, and it's Mason Appleton, the Green Bay, Wisconsin native, 23 years of age, a 6th-round pick of the Winnipeg Jets back in 2015, and he won the Dudley Red Garrett Award, which is Rookie of the Year in the American Hockey League last year with 66 points. This year, 36 games in the National Hockey League with the Winnipeg Jets, 3 goals, 10 points, and 18 points in 19 games coming into today's action. And certainly, again, the Winnipeg Jets have done such a great job of drafting, and a big man at 6'3", and looks to be a terrific prospect for Winnipeg as they continue to move forward.
Timoshev gets it off the boards. He lifts it up, and that one climbed up just a little too high. Hit the scoreboard. You don't have to pay for it if you break it. That's the word. Shrugging his shoulders. Why not? Happy to avoid that bill. And as the Marlies come back in, they are trying to figure out a line combination here that they like. And in fact, they've found one. Josh Juris will come in to take the draw. The offensive zone draw here for Spacek, as he has a little chat with Dano. Seth Griffith on his right. Juris screening, waiting for it. Carcone out as well. Puck finally hits the ice. One back by Juris. Loverde up. Carcone gives it back to Greening. Back check, but Greening steps away from it. And then he plays it in toward the goal. Cleared away out of the corner. Greening protecting it. Back for Juris behind the goal. He's got Carcone out front. Juris holding off his man. Up to Loverde. Right back to Carcone. Playing it in, and it's tipped wide by Greening and covered up by Comrie.
Now lots of traffic in front of Eric Comrie, the Manitoba Moose goaltender, and you know he's got to battle through lots of big bodies in front of him, and it gets tipped by Greening. It goes wide, and it comes off the end boards, and he makes sure that he dives on that loose puck and not give Toronto Marlies another opportunity to see if they can grab the lead in this one with just 9:11 to go here in regulation.
Adam Brooks will take the offensive zone draw. Logan Shaw opposite. Will turn on it. comes back and cleared out. Drops in front of Jordan Subban. Cross ice, finding Bracco. He just puts the crossovers to it and comes back through the middle. Bracco, a little bit of room here. Now across the line, it's offside as Bracco let one fly. And Stojkovic has got some words. And Bracco just looks him off.
Well, hey, you've got to make sure you're disciplined here if you're the Moose, and you're going to let Bracco know they don't like the fact. But this has been a pretty physical hockey game, and that's something this Winnipeg Jets organization, they're big, and they like to show their physicality, no question about it. But the Marlies today, I like the way they've stood up and given it back in this one, and we're going to see who's going to come away with a victory here in this tightly contested game so far, in who's got that shot on their stick to propel his club to victory in this one here this afternoon.
Marlies won all three against the Manitoba Moose this year. They had a terrific year the first year the Moose were in the league. They dismantled them that year as well. Last year they were 2-2. The Moose back it up into their own end. After it was Adam Brooks, and now they escape with it. Harkins trying to get past Schilling. The shot goes wide and didn't get much on it as Marincin picks it up on the backhand and then gives it right to Brooks. Up ice, finding Jordan Subban, and now Baptiste on the left side. Baptiste waits, shoots, and that one off into the corner as it comes right back up. Bracco tries to play it back in. Schilling plays it down the boards, and there he sees his old university teammate, Vincent Loverde. Loverde makes a nice little move, and it is lifted all the way back down the ice. This one will be picked up for icing with less than 8 minutes to go in the third period.
Well, Vincent Loverde is, he's the kind of guy that is invaluable if you're a coach. You know what you get each and every night, and that's solid performance, some, not flashy offensively, but he plays hard and competes each and every shift and every night. You can count on him to help shut down the opposition's better players.
Timashov took an awkward one off the skate. Now he is struggling to get over to the bench, hobbled just a little bit. Timashov gets off, and now back up it comes. Oligny off the wall. Back over, waiting on it. Toward the goal, comes out the other side. Lepon up high. Girard launches one, and Hutchinson stands up and hangs on. Boy, Dmytro Timashov came off, and he's getting a couple of questions here from Jordan Obi.
Well, you get in the shooting lane to help out your hockey club, and that's exactly what he does. Has the wrist shot taken from the blue line, I believe, by Brent Peterson, and it goes into the skates of Timashov, and he's trying to shake it off on the bench. And you hope he's going to be okay, but boy, it's like getting that wasp nest inside your skate. Boy, it's never a good feeling.
He's over there separated from the herd. He'll feel his own pain. Here's Loverde. Marincin looking up ice, finds Juris, and back through center. Juris sends it right in. Carconi turns around and feeds it down into the corner. Greening holding off his man. Carconi comes back to it. He tried to center it back out front. Juris steals it away as they cycle it back up to Loverde. Waits on it and then plays it in. Right back up the boards. Dano onto the stick and back in. As it comes wobbling back out to Loverde. Seth Griffith in front of him. Loverde rolls behind his goal. Well, he got Griffith going one way and then the other. And now Sandin back across the line. Rasmus Sandin still with it. Plays it in. Liljegren can get to it, and he does. Plays it down in around behind again. Schilling off the stick there of Bracco. And the loose puck along the boards. Baptiste after it. Bracco too. He knocked it away, but McLeish will pick it up from there. Looking back up ice. Schilling. Steps away. He's got Baptiste right in his hip pocket. And he plays it off. Here's a chance out front. And Peterson was coming in on the backside. Never got the puck to him. Adam Brooks will find Jeremy Bracco. He'll play it in and go off, but he didn't get it deep. Stojkovic got the mid on it, and he plays it in. But the Moose were interested in a change as well. Less than 6 minutes to go in this third period. Onto the stick of Engvall. Engvall. Timashov back out, and he plays it in. O'Brien back behind the goal. Engvall picks it up from there. Timashov comes after. He kicks it one way, convinces it the other, and Engvall comes back again. He and Timashov are pushing. Missed a little bit on the play, and it gives the Moose a chance to get it up and out. Loverde doesn't like the look of that and tries to send it back the other way as O'Brien finds himself on the line with Engvall and Timashov. Oligny lifts it in, drops into the corner with some convincing thumps. And it is right back up and out. Hard back in. That is off of Hutchinson. And it is played up the wall. Engvall trying to get to it. Timashov pass along. Carcone skating to it. Rolls in behind the goal. Carcone hangs on off the wall. Mike Carcone still with it. Leaves it back. Subban at the line. And he plays it into the corner. Carcone loses stick in the process. Juris working out of the corner. And Subban comes back to it as well. Josh Juris just past Greening, and it is chipped off the wall, and back quick is Jardine as he gets it to Juris, trying to force it back the other way. Jardine has to come in as McKenzie gets down into the corner. Jardine right on top of him. A little shot there by Juris. He's going to the box as he sends Lepond to the wall. Cross-checking is going to be the call, and the Marlies are going to find themselves down a man when we return here.
Well, we've got 4 goals in this hockey game, and we're going to see how it happened. Seth Griffiths got his 9th of the year on the power play. It's 1-0 for the Moose. Marco Dano would get a lucky bounce, and it's 2-0 for the Moose. But Dmytro Timashov's 8th would make it a 2-1 game after 20 minutes. And in the second period of play, a power play goal by Adam Brooks. His 14th of the year tied it at 2. That's where we stand. 4:21 to go here in regulation time. But it's the Moose who will head back to the power play as Josh Juris in the box for cross-checking. And he gets the cross-check and puts J.C. Lepond into the end boards. And the Moose trying to see if they can secure a goal here to grab the lead back as they gave up a 2-goal advantage in period number 1, and we continue along here at 2 apiece.
Pullman drops this back, and a shot by Greening, and played behind the goal as Adam Brooks comes in on the play. The Moose. Seth Griffith drives out. And it is sent in behind the goal. Marincin after it. Tried to pick it up. And Loverde hard off the glass. Won't get out. Pullman keeps it in. He'll have to do extra. And he won't. As Brooks got it off the skate and back out it goes. 4th chance here for the Moose. Trying to break it up in center was Marincin. Dano has a man going to the goal, and Appleton in a great chance, but he couldn't quite get it on the stick again at the line. Schilling able to keep it in. Off the boards, Timashov will pick it up. He's got Engvall to work with, and now Timashov goes out across the line. Engvall fighting to the goal, and he could not get a shot away, but the penalty.
It's going to be both guys. He's going to take both Engvall and number
Marco Dano.
Marco Dano. They're both going to the boxes. They were hacking and whacking each other going up the ice as Engvall trying to break free. And Engvall gets the stick up around the face of Dano as he tries to interfere and impede the forward progress of Engvall through the neutral zone. So both guys will go off. We'll continue with a 5-on-4 power play here for the Moose with 40 seconds to go on that with 3:01 to play here in regulation time.
Well, this draws out Adam Brooks and Colin Greening. Loverde and Marincin behind as Jansen Harkins. As Brooks got a hold of it and drove it toward the goal. Adam Brooks. As Spacek picks it up. 30 seconds now with the extra man. Back up ice. Screening tight to his man there on the check. Cross ice. That'll be picked up by Loverde and given the ride. Adam Brooks comes after. Conley plays it along. And Brooks was right there to try and take advantage. He comes back off, and Nick Baptiste out on the PK. Cross ice. Once again, Loverde trying to get to it to the far side. Harkins back behind the goal. Stanley picks it up. He looks cross ice and sent it right into the feet of Loverde. He gets it back, and we're back to 5-on-5. A little over 2 minutes still to play here in the third period, and it remains tied at 2 apiece.
Well, both clubs really want to continue here with now back to 5-on-5 and looking at securing 1 point for sure for each team, as they both really need it. So it'll be interesting to see how close to the vest this last minute and 40 seconds ends up, as you can count on it that on the bench both teams' coaches are going to be making sure everybody knows, hey, we need to secure the 1 point for sure. We'll worry about the bonus point when it comes to that, but let's make sure we get out of this with at least a point, because it's so important to the cause of heading towards the playoffs and securing a spot there.
Josh Juris. This is a cross-conference matchup as well. Not divisional, so the extra point means just maybe a little less, or giving up the point rather means a little less, as both teams, of course, want to maximize. But that is sent back in. Hutchinson from behind his own goal as he gives it over to Liljegren. Up ahead for Carcone. Past the stick of Juris. Shaw, Appleton trying to work it back down low. He does, as Liljegren, and he runs into trouble on his skates as Appleton is able to pick it up. Now Appleton back up high. Pullman couldn't keep it in. A little over a minute still to play in the third period. 2 apiece the score. Appleton off his skate, and Lepon picks it up. He gets a little bit of convincing from Adam Brooks. As Spacek hands it over, and now Schilling back up ice. He sends it in as Bronco comes back on it. Right back the other way. Timashov quick to it. Plays it back up and out. Brooks trying to get there quick. Back along the near side. Loverde plays it. Harkins across the line. Here's Seth Griffith playing it in. Here's a chance for Harkins out front. Scores! Seth Griffith! 3-2 Moose with 33.4 seconds left to go.
Wow, this is not what the Toronto Marlies wanted, but the Manitoba Moose ecstatic right now as Seth Griffith, the former Marley, as it's a stack up at the blue line and some terrific speed by Jansen Harkins as he drives wide, as he picks up the loose puck just inside the Marley blue line, and then he drives towards the goal line and throws it back out front. It goes off his skate, and Johnny on the spot is Seth Griffith, and he gets his second goal of the game by Michael Hutchinson to give the Moose a 3-2 advantage with 33.4 seconds to play.
Well, the Marlies at center ice miss a chance here if they don't pick up this goal. There goes Hutchinson following up the play. Engvall down the left side. Pierre Engvall turns up. He's got help at the blue line. Right back to Engvall. Looks out front. Extra attacker on. Here's Liljegren looking in. Bracco out front, shoots, and that one is cleared to the line, not out. Last chance. Here's the chance out front, and Bracco missed on the last opportunity. And the Manitoba Moose are going to pick up a victory against the Toronto Marlies, the first time this year in the last game the teams played this year in 4 tries.
Well, and you know, you got to give some props obviously to the Manitoba Moose. They stuck with it after they had a 2-0 lead. They saw it evaporate. to 2-2, but the Toronto Marlies are going to say, hey, this is one you gotta not let get away, as they had that close to being at least 1 point in this one, but they come away empty-handed.
Seth Griffith, the game winner, and we will be back to wrap things up here in just a moment.